Welcome to the Real Estate and Small Business for Management Consultant Show. Whether you hold a corporate 9-to-5 or have determined that you want to explore the small business realm, this show is for you. Christian Carrillo talks to entrepreneurs and experts in the real estate and small business realms to discover what they do, why they do it, and how they do it to help show you the art of the possible. And now your host, Christian Carrillo.
Welcome back to the Real Estate and Small Business Show. I am your host, Christian Carrillo. Today we've got a special interview for you folks. Our guest is Carlos Montero. Thank you for hopping on the show, Carlos. We're so excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. So Carlos is the owner of HomeTrust Lending, Secure Investments, Inc. and Capristo LLC. He is one of the leaders in the mortgage lending industry. He specializes in referrals from past clients and works closely with realtors in Virginia, Maryland, and DC, where he has personal knowledge of the communities and the neighborhoods where they operate. With over 19 years of experience, Carlos has grown to be one of the top originating loan officers in the country. His extensive knowledge of today's programs and the ability to offer the best options for his clients has earned him a high level of respect with his realtor partners. Again, Carlos, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you on, but why don't you get us started with a little bit more about who you are and how you got started and what you're doing today?
Absolutely, yes. It's funny because my story is very unique. I come from humble beginnings. Just to get things started, I actually came to the U.S. when I was 12 years old. I'm originally from Bolivia. So I landed here in December to 1998, 12 years old. I think it's a perfect age because you're in 7th grade, you know how to speak and read in Spanish perfectly. And I took 2 years of English back home, and that kind of helped me out develop my English over here. So it was great. It was a great time. I got here, did a little bit of middle school, 7th grade, and high school, and graduated. And funny story, I was not a straight A student. It's funny how everybody thinks that, oh my God, if you're a straight A student, you're going to make it, you're going to be successful, you're going to be the greatest guy out there, you can make tons of money and everything else. But, I'm sorry, but it's not true. I was a, BC student, to be quite honest with you. I love sports. I was, I had straight A's in PE and straight A's in math. So that kind of tells you two things about me, that I like numbers. I like doing numbers, and I also like socializing with people, and I like sports a lot. I'm a big soccer fan. I get involved in the NFL and NBA. I get a little bit into Formula One as well. So I like a little bit of everything. But my main sport is soccer. So what I did is play soccer during the junior high school year, and it was great. My older sister, she actually got a job and was at a front desk in a small brokerage back in 2003, 2004. And she asked me, do you mind getting a summer job? And I was like, of course, yeah, I got nothing to do. I'm not doing anything. My summer's just, hitting the pool every day. And I want to make some money, by the time I was 16 years old. So I got the summer job. It was actually for a loan officer that was a top producer. She would, make up, a bunch of files, and all she needed was help on faxing, putting it together, paperwork stuff. So when I got there, I had two things in my mind. I'm going to be a sponge and get all the information that I could possibly get. And I felt like I was being underpaid after seeing all the numbers, but then I did not care because it was free college for me. So if you actually put your mind in that aspect of things, where at the beginning, you don't care, you don't have to care about money, because everything is about education. I was being educated in the loan officer, as a loan officer assistant aspect. And my day-to-day, I enjoyed it. I learned as much as I could. My direct boss, my loan officer, loved me, from, straight off, coming out of the gate, I was, becoming a support already. So it was great. It was the first couple months that I really enjoyed. And I can tell you it's at least 4 months. So 4 months, and long story short, my sister, the husband that my sister, so my sister worked for a broker the broker's wife was the loan officer. So there were a couple, married couple. So, my sister had to branch out because she wanted to get a higher percentage paid. She had just started her family, and the broker didn't allow her higher percentage to take effect. There were, back in the day, she was asking for 70% commission as a real estate agent. That didn't work out. So she actually took off and went to another broker. And 3 other people followed her because she was a team lead. She was somebody that they can rely on, and they left. And the husband was like, hey, look, you left me, you took my people, tell your brother he's fired. And then I'm like, and then the loan officer loved me. And then I remember the call, like if it was last year, my sister called me, hey, what are you working on? I'm like, I'm working on the Guzman file. Everything is doing well. And she was like, okay, I need, stop working because you're not going to be working there anymore. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Wow.
My loan officer, my boss loves me. Like I'm doing everything right. I'm being successful. I'm supporting everybody. And then she told me about the incident that was going on her end. So my boss called me. She said, I'm sorry, I can't go against my husband. I have to let you go. And I wish I didn't let you go. And I was like, okay, I guess this is the end of me. This is it. I'm done. Like, it was a cool summer job. And so I actually sat down, and I was upset. It was sad. It wasn't my fault. It just happened to be. So I called one of the VP of sales in the Hispanic division, and I told him, hey, look, as a 17-year-old, I called him and I said, hey, look, I enjoyed, working here. I like what it is. I like numbers. I want to become a loan officer. So he put me on hold and said, you're too young. You're going to see what happens. Just come back in 4 months. And I went back to my sister. I'm like, hey, I really like it. Do you have another shop that I can work with or just follow you? And then she gave me an opportunity somewhere else. And, before all of this, of course, I came in as an immigrant. What that means is like no Social Security, no work, no work permit. It was no status whatsoever. So that made it, things more difficult. And I went back and tried to get another job, and that was my hard stop. No Social Security, and it was pretty sad for me not to be able to move forward. So I had to leave that company that was being trained on, and just kept going back to the original company I was with. It was a broker, and started bugging the hell out of the VP. I was like, hey, sir, what's going on? Good morning. When do you think I could come back? Is it time yet? How long do I have to wait? To the point that it was bugging me. He was like, hey, look, I need you to stop asking me and get off, stop breathing on my neck. Like, get out, get away from me. Come back once a week. So of course, if you're, I was young and hungry and I had all this energy, and I was like, okay, well, all right. Well, it wasn't really a turn down for me. I was just like, okay, I'll just go back later. I got nothing to do, I started doing my whole things. And the files that I was working on, because I had started a few files on my own, I was just sharing them with other loan officers. And this is the other thing. When you have a file, I did not care about the money. I was giving out 50% of the commission to the loan officer that I was using, that was helping me put that file together. And I was just being a shadow. I was shadowing these people, and, to the point where, okay, this is how you do it. And talking to account executives from many different lenders. And they were really my coaches. So I had like probably a dozen coaches throughout those years, learning from one and the other, just being a full, sponge, getting absolutely every little bit of information. So back in February 2005, it comes back, and I talk to the VP again. I'm like, hey, dude, it's been 4 months. What's going on? You didn't call me. And he comes and he hits me up and he says, all right, just, swing by the office on Thursday. It was Tuesday. I'm like, okay, well, I got to wait 2 days. And I went, and, he called me. He just like, come on, come on in. And then he pointed at a corner where there was a cubicle with a screen, and it was a Dell computer, one of the Dell computers. in there, the monitor, the keyboard. And I was like, okay. He was like, okay, that's your spot. That's your spot. Get going. And I was like, I was a really happy man. And I started grinding. It was actually the first week of February. And back in the days, you could actually close loans pretty quick. And I had already had a pipeline going. Long story short, the first month of February 2005. And prior to this, I had bought a car. It was an Acura RSX Type S. It was a 2-door. My mom and everybody was like, hey, don't buy a 2-door, get a 4-door. I was like, Mom, no, I want to get a 2-door. I really like it. I want stick shift. And my mom said, if you cannot pay the car, I got your back. And the payment was like $462 a month. I had a little bit of savings. And I was like, okay, Mom, don't worry about it. I'm working hard. I got all these files in the pipeline or whatever. And of course, I put the minimum down payment and I financed, and my dad was the co-signer. So I financed everything I could. In February 2005, worked hard, I was motivated. I closed 10 files, that month. And with my first paycheck, I could actually pay my car off, the $25,000 that I financed. I would look at a paycheck. I'm like, oh my God, is this real? Like, dude, this is my first month, and coming out of the gate, closing 10 files, I could actually pay my car off that I thought I was gonna pay in 5 years. It was a 60-month note. And I go back to the VP of sales, and he comes and hugs me. The guy that was dissing me like 4.5 months, he comes back and he's like, hey, dude, come on. I knew I made the right decision. And it was like me pretty much begging him, give me a desk. And he was like, hey, dude, you're young, we're going to make it happen. He actually gave me the opportunity to work in his company. And I'm really thankful for that. And after that, it was just learning nonstop. Because the mortgage industry, it's a living industry. So you never stop learning. Everything is new. The market changes. And from there on until today, I'm still learning on a day-to-day. So that was the experience that I had. I had to really beg for work for 4 months. And then, I get a big congratulations hug on my first fundings.
Wow. I think that is, your story is very powerful, right? So even hearing about sort of the immigrant story of coming to a new country, right, and having to start this sort of new future, I think that's so powerful. And it definitely translates to anytime someone starts like a new project or a new endeavor, right? What advice would you have for folks that may be looking to enter a new realm, right? A new business endeavor or a new type of job? What did you find that really helped you?
Well, you really need to get to know yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first things you want to do. Learn and identify what you like to do on a day-to-day. I'll give you a good example. For me, when I would wake up every morning, I would look forward to work on the files that I'm working on, the families that I was helping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, for example, if your favorite game, you get a final going, I mean, you get a big game coming up, you're anxious, right? And I will get that feeling on a day-to-day. I'm like, okay, well, I got a closing on Thursday. It's Wednesday. Everything is under control. You go to bed, you wake up, and then you're like, okay, today's the day. We're gonna go to closing. Gotta make it happen. I gotta work on this pre-approval. So my mind was 100% in there. You gotta identify what you like, so that when you do on a day-to-day, you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And trust me, 19 years is a very long time, and I still enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So it's something that, you might like something today, you might get bored in a little bit, and you might have to, tweak a few things and probably take a different route within the industry or a different title within the same industry. But, it's, I tell everybody, it's hard work and everything else, but it's a little bit of luck. And I was lucky enough to be able to find out what really drives me.
Yeah.
So no time was wasted.
Absolutely. I love that. And, You talked a little bit about this sort of moment where you were basically let go from this job that you really loved. And I think if folks usually go through something like that, it can be really hard on them, and maybe they just kind of give up, right? What kept you going? What kept you thinking and insisting, okay, this is for me. I'm going to go after this and I'm going to get this no matter what?
Well, it was it was the industry, the benefit of helping people, helping families. And I remember this very well as well, when me and my parents were looking for a property, and we were just immigrants, didn't have papers, and some real estate agent was like, I'm sorry, I cannot help you because you don't have you have a TIN number, and that program was not available. So we couldn't do a whole lot. So we were pretty much limited. So, there were programs that were available for those type of families. I do specialize in first-time home buyer. So I do want to help the families achieve, their American dream, which is, home ownership, and get it done the right way. Let them know and find and let them get all the benefits that they can possibly get. Because believe me, there's a lot of people out there that are lazy, that, if they don't, if they see a little bit of a difficult on the files or whatever, they just push it away, and they get the easy, clean deals that everybody wants, and it was just me different. And the gratitude, that text or that phone call that you get saying, thank you so much for your hard work. Without you, couldn't be done. Or my family, thanks you for all your efforts. That actually is my paycheck for me. And the industry was great, knowledge, and if you work hard and you do the right things, and you just don't have to worry about where the next paycheck is coming from. So that was the other thing that I didn't have to worry about. You work hard, if you're closing deals, you're gonna get paid, and I enjoy closing deals. At the same time, I really love my family, my parents, and I didn't want to leave the nest too soon, because I enjoyed seeing my parents. And as an 18-year-old, I was paying half of the mortgage once we bought a house. And I was a full support in my household at 18 years old. And of course, me coming in this country at 12, I would sometimes not see my parents, because the way we did it was my parents would get up at 6 in the morning. Their full time will start at 7. They'll finish at 4. From 4, they would come back, sometimes get something to eat, and then head out to the part-time. So it was a full-time and a part-time that they would have. And sometimes I would be asleep, and I would probably see them. I wouldn't see them for days. So, I kind of understand their hard work. And if you're just working so hard for so long, it will burn. You don't want to burn the midnight oil over and over and over. So my goal was, what kind of drove me was, I need to help my family. I need to be a support. I need to pay a rent. I need to help him. And to the goal, to the point that I'm like, hey mom, I need you to leave the part-time. I want to see you. I want to hang out. Like, I want to have dinner with you. One of those things. And that's another thing that kind of kept me going. And the goals that you have in life, I set goals quarterly. I set goals annually. I set goals every 5-10 years. And I do everything I can to make them happen. And so far, I've done a good job.
I love that. I think your story is so powerful, and congratulations to you. I really love how you focus on adding value and really helping people in the community, right? I think that's really amazing. So really, I appreciate what you do, and thank you for that, Carlos. One other thing that you had touched on was this idea of continually learning, of the importance of coaching, and then mentorship. As you think about your overall life, how important has all that been to you and your success? How important has mentorship been to you?
Mentorship is everything. And today, on my day-to-day, I try to be the best coach. I try to be the best out there, teach people. Because I'm not stingy. I like to share what I have. I tell everybody, hey, look, I'm just gonna guide you. You know, you're not gonna fail. There's really no way you're gonna fail if you follow what I'm telling you. You know, and it's just a cheat sheet. You know, it's a multiple choice question, and I'm gonna give you the right answers. You know, I mean, it doesn't get easier than that, does it? So, you know, I like to, you know, coach people. I like to tell what the borrowers need to do. I've turned down a lot of borrowers on not refinancing because I know it's not the right time for them. I know it wasn't necessary. Versus other LOs would do the opposite just to get that paycheck. You know, recycling borrowers. So that's another thing that, you know, clients really appreciate. And when I talk to the client, it's like, you know, like other companies will talk to you like if you're just another ant. You're just another individual, another shadow. But not me. You know, every time I talk to them, you know, I kind of put myself in their shoes and, you know, let them know, hey, if I was you, this is what you need to do. To the point that, you know, I had borrowers show me their, you know, the closing disclosure, the final documents, and I reviewed, and I'm like, okay, stop. You know, this is, you're making a mistake, and this is why. I had borrowers multiple times come back and save thousands and thousands of dollars, and they appreciate that. And this is why another reason most of my business comes from referrals, word of mouth referrals. And another funny thing is that probably 19 years, 18, I've never done any marketing. Like, you know, you could make all this business and explode just by doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And don't do any marketing, and specialize in working with agents, real estate agents, partner up with people and get their loyalty and be loyal to them and have ethics and do the right thing is pretty much all you need to do to get that business. So it is a different chapter for me. I did put a goal to myself that I'm going to be doing a lot more marketing, growing my company, growing my branch. And I'm going to make that happen in the next 12 months.
Yeah, I have no doubt about that, right? Like doing the right thing is very good for business. So I completely agree with you. Now, I know we're ending, we're near the end of our show here, but before we dive into our quick response round, I wanted to really ask you, as you think about your life, what has helped you become successful?
One of the main things that helped out, it was just hang out with old people. You know, I was the youngest one everywhere. I was the youngest one in every meeting. I was the youngest one in every branch meeting. I was the youngest one in every office that I could possibly be. Just hang out with old people, because when you hang out with older people, you learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
So, you know, there would be 5 doors in front of me, and I know number 1, 2, and 3, they were not the right doors, because I've seen other people fail going into that door. So it's helped me a lot hanging out with old folks. I'm talking about, I was, you know, 19, 20, I was hanging out with 30, 40-year-olds on a day-to-day on a business level. So that has helped me a lot. You know, obviously, you know, consistency, hard work, doing the right thing. And believe it or not, you know, you also need a little bit of luck to be able to succeed the way I did. Because you put all those things together, yes, you're gonna be doing great, you're gonna be doing good. But if you want to be, you know, not the average person and explode, you gotta have that little bit of luck, and only, you know, God gives that to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And Carlos, it's been a pleasure getting to know more about you, and I'm sure that our listeners will get a lot out of this interview. I know I have. But are you ready for our quick response round?
Absolutely, I'm ready.
So first one here for you. If you lost it all today, what would you do?
If I lost it all today, I would start in the same industry, no matter what. And, you know, you could watch a lot of movies that could actually teach you this thing. As a matter of fact, in 2008, when everything went down the hill, and I actually stopped working for 6 months. And when you stop working for 6 months, everybody forgets you so easy. Like, it's so hard to get that number, that agent know you and call you consistently. But if you go MIA for about 3 to 5 months, you're done, and you have to start all over. So I had to start all over again from scratch. And that means, no assistant, no nothing. And then you got no closing next month. So, I would definitely start all over again in the mortgage business.
Perfect. I love that. Going forward, what do you have planned in your business and why?
Going forward, I have different plans on my business on growing my social media presence. I have a little bit of audience on my personal pages. I do have my own private label, which is HomeTrust Lending. I do want to explode that. I do want to make that big. I do want to make sure that everybody in the Latino community knows. Not only that, but all the communities, because we serve everybody. We serve all the families, and we want to make sure that this company takes good care of the people, pricing wise, being loyal, being transparent, and just having a great reputation for everybody. And it only comes in by just having the same blood type in your team. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky to have very, very great operations when it comes to the operation side of things. And that's the other thing. You cannot do it all by yourself, and you need support. And if you have the support, you also need to be lucky enough to have the right support, the right people that will stick with you. Because in 19 years, I've probably gone over 13 different assistants. Mm-hmm. And an assistant doesn't come and go in every other week. An assistant could be here for a year or two, and then they take off. An assistant could be here for 8 months. You've been training somebody for 8 months, and they decide to leave. So you need to be lucky to have the right people. And I feel that I have been lucky to have the right people now, and I'm ready to explode.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. If you could give our listeners one piece of advice today, what would it be?
You need to work hard. You need to, get up early. That's the one thing you need to do. Prioritize things in 4 different, levels. And one of them is urgent and important. The second is important but not urgent. The third, not important but urgent. And the last is not urgent, not important. Categorize those things and just work your day out of it. It's like elementary school. You got to write down what your to-do list every day so that you don't forget. I do it. Okay, this is my 8 to-do list that I need to do today, and just knock them down, and just work hard, get up early, and have the right attitude. Laugh about it. While you're going through the days to your business partners, have a great time. And then one of the things that I really enjoy is like having business partners, is having lunch with them. Going to dinner with them, and have them as friends. Because a friend will not let you down.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Thank you for that. Last one here for you. How can our listeners get to know more about you and connect with you?
Well, I do have a social media presence. So I'm in Instagram, I'm in Facebook, LinkedIn. My company's name is HomeTrust Lending. You can find that on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. My Instagram is Carlos A. Montero. You can find me there. Facebook, I'm available, easy to reach. I'm sure you can find me in Google. My number is 571-221-7107. My number is always available for new customers and past clients and everybody that wants to really talk to me. I come from humble beginnings, so I have no problems by talking. I'm one of the few branch managers that actually manage a branch, do a little bit of things that actually gets fully involved in customers. So it's not like you're going to call me and I'm just going to toss you to somebody else and never speak to you again. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not that kind of person. And, I like to do from, face-to-face interviews with borrowers too, sit down, talk to them on a face-to-face. I know COVID had us, keep that away from a little bit, but I like to see families and help them out in a face-to-face environment now.
I love that. Again, Carlos, thank you so much for hopping on the show. It truly was a pleasure to connect with you, and this interview was just amazing. Thank you, my friend.
Excellent. No problem. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
We'll chat soon. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate and Small Business for Management Consultants Show, brought to you by Pexels Capital Group. Quetzal Capital Group works with investors nationwide to invest in real estate while also looking to add value in the communities where they operate. Quetzal Capital Group, client-centered, data-driven, result-oriented. Connect with us online at quetzalcapitalgroup.com to learn more.